Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna replace a PCV valve on this 2016 RAV4. So let's get right into it. This thing is really buried in this car, and to get to it I had to remove the tire. This is the front passenger side, and from here I've heard you can get through it from here. We're gonna remove this connector right here, but before touching anything I'm gonna disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. Alright, I'm gonna remove this connector, and then there is a bracket holding the wire. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the bracket also right here. The bracket is at 10 millimeters. Here you are working with very limited space. Alright, put it to the side. So I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to see. This hose right here goes onto the PCV valve, and you have to reach from here. You're going to remove the hose, and then you're going to use an extension socket to reach the PCV valve and then untighten it. So you will be doing this mostly blind. There is no way to actually see it because of how tight it is in here. This is a solid block, not removable, so you have to go under it. This is the best I can see the PCV valve and the hose on it. Some people also wonder if it's possible to get it from the top, but as you can see, you will have to remove this assembly in order to get in here, so it's not ideal. It's really cramped in here. The bottom is a better bet. Alright, so we're gonna get an extension. Here is our brand new PCV valve, and as you shake it you can hear something rattle inside, and it's springy. That's normal. So you're going to use a dip socket. It is a 19 millimeter. You're going to need something articulating because of how tight the spot is. So after fighting with it for 5 minutes, I was able to remove the hose from the intake manifold and the PCV valve. So this part right here goes to the PCV valve, as you can see, and this one right here goes on the other side. So what I ended up doing is I started removing this part right here, so I had some leverage to grab on this one and then pull it out. I can see oil all over the place, and by the way, I don't think I can reuse this hose. This thing right here is gone. As you can see, I have cracks everywhere. It's time for a new hose. Alright, so with the hose out, this is what it looks like. No need to tell you how tricky it is to record and do this. Probably gonna have to do this off camera. Look like we in business. It's coming out. Alright, this is extending my wrench, and it won't come out, so I'm gonna have to tighten it a little bit to get some clearance. Whew. As you can see, the wrench get extended and now it's against the frame and I can't get it out. Alright, so after suffering with it, I was able to remove it. I can't tell if this is still good, but I definitely had the symptoms. I'm gonna go ahead and install the brand new one. I'll put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads. Now we're gonna screw this in all the way by hand as much as possible, and then we will torque it down. So here is the hole. Getting this to line with the whole blind is so tricky. So I basically felt around and it went right into the socket. I twisted it a few times. So here you want to make sure you tighten it with your fingers all the way down until you can't, before you use the dip socket to tighten it all the way. Alright, now I have it all the way in by hand. Next step, I'm gonna torque it down to 20 foot-pound. That is all the way in. I thought I was gonna be able to use this hose, but it's not the same. This one is a lot narrower. I ended up having to buy a brand new hose from the dealership. This is the part right here. And you might be tempted to reuse the old hose, but I would definitely suggest not doing so because this gets hard. And as you can see, this one has all type of cracks around. This will lead to leaks. It doesn't come with the retainers. I'm gonna have to reuse these. Alright, this is ready to go on. I'm gonna put the one in the intake first and then onto the PCV valve. Alright, so one end is connected. Now I need to connect the other end onto the PCV valve. Alright, so the hose is in. I'm gonna have to push the clips on the right spot and this will be done. And finally I got it hooked up. Everything is good. Next step is to go ahead and put everything back together and I will be done. I'm gonna put in the screw for the bracket. It's right here. Alright, the crankshaft position sensor. Alright, that's good. Next step, I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel back on and I'll be all set. And just like that, I have successfully replaced the PCV valve and the breather hose. So if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.